Hey, everybody. Welcome to my booth. Happy Thursday. I'm Jay. This is David. We're going to listen to his sample in a moment. Before we do, if you want me to review your audio, there's a form in the description. Send me something. We do one of these every week. If you'd prefer to get feedback fast, you got two options. One, there's coaching over on my website. That's the direction that it is on the internet. And if you want to jump the queue like David here, you can join our booth buddies. It's the channel membership, gives you a little bit of priority access and supports these efforts. Never necessary, always appreciated. Otherwise, thanks for being here. Thanks for clicking the buttons like they always make you do on YouTube. David, go.
The amazing lineup of 2021 Mazdas are built to respond to you with effortless power and the confidence of high-active all-wheel drive. And there's no better time than now to find your perfect Mazda. Get a 2021 Mazda CX-5 Sport AT leased for as low as $179 a month, or a 2021 Mazda CX-30 leased for as low as $159 a month. Visit your Mazda dealer today.
Nice. Okay, so David's questions were specifically about, hey, how's the production quality so far and any performance tips? We'll start with performance because I drafted up my own little mock Mazda ad here, and we'll get to that in a second to talk about some ways that you could maybe improve your production quality. But all in all, it's sounding pretty solid. I like the song that you've got. The balance between the music and your VO is all right. I'm going to talk about ways you can improve the intelligibility of your voiceover over the music and just more generally. But in terms of performance, we'll start there because ultimately that's the big thing, right? So let's listen again, stop and start on specific things with this performance in general. Yeah.
The amazing lineup of 2021 Mazdas are built to respond to you with effortless power and the confidence of high-active all-wheel drive.
Okay. So, that's a mouthful. That's a lot of stuff talking about why these cars specifically are so cool and exciting for everybody to come on down to the dealership. My usual stuff would apply here. I would love to hear specifics about the different things, like why each of these little car things. I'm not a car guy. I know a little bit about cars, but why these specific features of a car are exciting and why specifically you imagine them to be exciting. Like, do you want to go fast? Do you want to feel cool? Do you want to feel powerful? Is it economical? Whatever. Knowing roughly why, or just making the decision why these things specifically are exciting, because the people you're talking to, they're going to care about this. They're going to be like, ooh, it's got XYZ. That's great. I want to check it out now. And it's helpful if you have, even if you don't know cars, even if you just have an idea of why this is exciting. Oh, it's a manual. That means that you have more control. You get to feel the car more. How exciting is that for you car lovers out there? Something like that. So all to say, that little shift I think will help a lot. And then I'm going to speak more broadly on something because I say a lot of the same stuff frequently here because it all holds true and it always bears repeating. Things like connect with the person that you're talking to. So in this case, somebody who loves cars, somebody who's looking for a new car, and why specifically these Mazdas are going to be the ones that you want to check out because they're really cool. I think they're cool. You think they're cool. And here are specifics why. Don't you think that's great? So all of that still applies. But, David, your performance here brought to mind something in a new area or an area of performance and training that I haven't dove into often. And that's strictly vocal projection and vocal technique, speech technique, breath type stuff. Because right now, if we listen to your delivery, let's listen to the delivery and then I'll emulate it and talk about how you can shift in order to, how you can shift in a way that I think would be positive overall for your performances.
The amazing lineup of 2021 Mazdas are built to respond to you with effortless power and the confidence of high-active all-wheel drive.
So right now, sort of what I'm hearing, and some of this is the microphone itself, so I'm going to talk about how you can clean that up a little bit, but a fair amount of what I am dialing into here is vocal projection and stuff. So what I'm hearing right now is kind of a the 2022 lineup of Mazdas is full of all these great features, like an all-wheel drive, and it's kind of pulled back a little bit in the voice. It's not out into space. It's not vulnerable in certain ways, because if you extend yourself out beyond yourself, you open yourself up to things, and it's a tough thing to do. It took me years of training to figure this out. I'm not saying that it'll be years of training for everybody out there, but it was for me. But if I am guarding myself, or if I'm curating the way that I want to sound, it becomes pulled back and kind of gripped in a certain way. And I'm not saying that all of these apply to you, David, but the difference between the new lineup of 2025 Mazdas is full of all these great features that you should really come check out, versus the new lineup of really great Mazdas is full of all of these great features that you should really check out. And then the step further, if I'm connecting with the person, the lineup of really great Mazdas, this new 2024 Mazdas, has all these really great features that you're going to want to check out. So going through that again, the lineup of 2024 Mazdas is full of all these really great features that you should really come check out. The lineup of really great Mazdas has all these really great features that you should really check out. And then connecting, the lineup of all these really great Mazdas in the 2024 line has great features like all-wheel drive. So those are kind of the progression of differences. I don't know if they're legible. Hopefully they are, but that's sort of what I'm going for. And so things that you can do specifically to move in that direction more generally and specifically with reads. Connecting with the person, which is why this is the refrain that I always come back to. Who are you talking to? Why is it important for them to hear your perspective? And what perspective are you adopting? That sort of calculus, trigonometry is specific. It's a catch-all, and it really, really helps a lot of stuff just sort of fall into place without having to go through specifics of training. And here are the small, really minute details that we're going to adjust and make you aware of. Those are great to know because in my case, I'm able to articulate a lot of that stuff in a really specific way. But honestly, it all just comes back to, who am I talking to? Who am I? And why is my perspective important to the person that I'm talking to? Ostensibly in this commercial, someone's like, man, I really am looking for a new car, but I just want something that has these specific features. And you're like, well, good news for you. The 2024 lineup of Mazdas has all this really cool stuff. That's exactly what you're looking for. And that's really the foundational thing for this spot. And so that's a keystone. Beyond that, a lot of it has to do with sort of what I was talking about, allowing the flow of breath and speech to be unimpinged, unheld, unleashed, whatever you want to say. But instead of holding ourselves back and sort of restrained, and our breath doesn't have a good flow to it because it feels really vulnerable, to let our breath flow in a way that's really allowing our voice to come out into space versus being sort of held and tight where we can modulate our thoughts, but it translates into like holding a little bit. It's a lot of training, but one great book that can help you out, my entire graduate school training program, it wasn't strictly this. It was built upon a lot of these principles, though. But Freeing the Natural Voice by Kristen Linklater, it's a great, it's like a $10, $15 book, and it's a full course that will take you from start to finish. I'm considering also doing a follow-along work through of the book here on this channel. So if that's of interest, let me know, and I can start looking into how I can put that together for everybody. But there's that. It's a long road, but I think it would be valuable for you. Now, in terms of the vocal production or just production on the whole, there are a couple of things going on with your VO track that I think we can improve upon. So right now, either by virtue of the microphone that you're using or the space you're in or the way that you've EQ'd this audio, whatever it may be, it's got a fair amount of low end still, and it feels a little bit dark or muted or muffled in a certain way. So if we listen to a little bit of it, none of that's a deal breaker. It's fine as is, but I'm going to show you how you can improve upon it.
And there's no better time than now to find your perfect Mazda. Get a 2021 Mazda CX-5 Sport.
So it sounds almost like if I put this guy on my microphone and maybe put this a little bit here, it's just a little bit muted and pulled back in that respect. I was putting this foam on my mic. But there are a couple of ways that you can work around that. So I've got this session here, and I'm going to mute the music to start, and this is my beautifully rendered, expertly copywritten piece for Mazda. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda at the Mazda dealership by July 5th. Okay, expertly done. And then if we bring in the music, so I've already leveled the music to be pretty low so it's not overwhelming things, but this is what it sounds like now. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda at the Mazda dealership by July 5th. So already my VO is a little bit EQ'd where I've taken the mud out of my space. But if you want to do that for yourself, here's an EQ. I like using these because they're visual and they help me to see what's going on specifically. But a couple things that I'll suggest you do. One, just add a little bit of a high-pass filter if you're not already. This is the thing that I recommend for everybody. But specifically with your voiceover, there are two things that you can do. I have full videos on how to EQ your audio that go into more depth here. But you can listen out for ranges where there's a fair amount of mud to your audio. So let's listen to my voiceover again. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda. So once you find an area that's fairly muddy, my audio's cleaned up already, unfortunately, but you can take a band and just put a little dip here. Again, I walk through this process more completely in my How to EQ video. But this little dip, what it's going to do with your audio is just add a little bit of clarity so that your voiceover isn't sounding a little bit darker or muffled in the low end. And then additionally, you can add a high shelf band on yours. So the only things you're adding are just two little things, a little dip wherever you find a resonant frequency in the down low end. And then if you add just a little boost up here. And by doing that, it'll add a little bit of clarity and articulation to your voiceover. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda at the Mazda. So that's kind of an extreme that I'm doing there. Again, watch my EQing video to go in more depth, but there's that. And then, I'm running out of breath. It's hot in here. Here's how it sounds with just that. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda at the Mazda dealership by July 5th. And here's it without. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. So it's fine without it, but by adding it, it just adds a bit of clarity and helps it to go over the music a bit more. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the... Is this a good example? No, I'm just sort of doing extremes in order to show the differences. So don't take this as like, oh, that's what a good thing sounds like. No. I'm just doing like, this is what you can do and go see how you can do it in my other videos. The last thing that I'll say in terms of the music is if you add a little bit of EQ, you can carve out space for your voiceover a little bit. And for most humans, the majority of our vocal information, i.e., the frequencies in our voice that are the most prevalent, are the loudest, or to use another way to say it, the sound range or the piano keys that we use most in our vocal range are typically between like 100 hertz and like 600 hertz on average. So what you can do with your music is just take a wide band like this. Again, is this perfect? No, this is just a rough demonstration. I have other videos going into detail on this, but what it does is it carves out a little bit of the frequencies in your music. So essentially you'd be saying, so we've got two pianos here playing at the same time, my voice and my music bed. And I'm just telling the music bed, hey, can you guys be a little bit quieter on the keys for like this couple octave range where the first piano is playing? My voice is going to be here. Can you guys just not be as loud in those places? That's basically what we're saying. So this is what it sounds without. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. And this is what it sounds like with. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great. One more time. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda. So I don't know that I'm hearing much difference there, but let's make it a little bit more extreme. This wouldn't be a good example, but just to make it legible for everybody. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda at the Mazda dealership by July 5th. So that's obviously very extreme, but you can hear how it carves out the music is competing far less. Let's do it one more time. Test drive your Mazda and go real fast. It's got all the great tools and tips like a stick shift and a steering wheel. Test drive your Mazda at the Mazda dealership. So again, extreme, but helps to demonstrate my point a little bit. Anyway, hope that's helpful for you and for everybody else out there as well. If you got questions, let me know. If you want coaching, we already did that whole spiel. But until the next one of these, everybody, be well, and I'll see you soon. Toodles.